Hello. In this session, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the enterprise integration feature in web control. Now, enterprise integration basically as a feature endows web control with the ability to communicate via web services. And web services is simply a technology that allows machines and applications to exchange data over a network. In other words, we can take another program such as Excel and pull information from web control into Excel and make reports with it. Or we can even push information back into web control and trigger actions. And I'll show you an example of that in a moment. But first, it's important to know that this is a feature that's optional with web control. It's an optional purchase and it's part of the enterprise integration package. And if I look at that drop-down menu and the About box, I can see that under Enabled Features, I do have Enterprise, Advanced. That's what tells me that this particular system has been endowed with this web services functionality by applying the Enterprise Integration optional package. So that's a requirement to get web services to work in web control. Now let's talk a little bit about what web services are. I gave you a basic definition that allows programs to exchange data, but what does that mean for us? What can it do? Well, let's use Excel for an example. In this case, I happen to have an Excel spreadsheet embedded in the graphic, but I could be running it from a client somewhere, anywhere on the network, even over the internet. So when I click that icon and I download this to the client and I open it, I see a little report here that someone's written. And obviously what they're doing is they've created a little KWH and KW usage report. Well, what's happening is in the background, there's a Visual Basic script running that's going out and retrieving information from web control and then plotting it in Excel. Watch what happens when I click the refresh button. We see data get dynamically updated, and in fact, the graph itself will update based on this information. So what we've done is we've taken a third-party application like Excel, and we've gathered data from web control and presented it in this report format. What's nice about this is someone who doesn't normally have access to web control could be given this spreadsheet, and they could run it from their desk across the network, gather this information, and never had logged in themselves. So this can be a very powerful reporting feature. I'm going to go ahead and close this, and I'm not going to save it because this is just a demonstration. And now let's talk about some of the other things web services can do. There's lots of different applications for web services. It does not have to be in Excel. For instance, there are programs that gather weather information from the Weather Channel and display that in web control. In this case, we're doing the opposite. We're going out on the internet and using web services to pull information into web control and display that information for us. There's a lot of flexibility with web services, and because of that, it is a very, very powerful feature. Now, there's one other thing I'd like to talk about. What was actually happening in the background with that spreadsheet is that spreadsheet actually went out and logged into web control as if it were a user, and it performed a series of actions. It queried web control for information. Well, all of that gets logged in the audit log. And sometimes reports, especially automated reports, can perform a lot of actions. So we've included a new feature in Web Control 4, okay, called Do Not Audit Changes Made Using SOAP, or Web Services. And what this essentially does is it keeps the audit log from being needlessly filled with repetitive queries by a third-party application utilizing web services. So in this way, we've sort of enhanced our web service functionality with this latest release of web control. And that is web services, which is part of the enterprise integration package.